I know you've been involved with a lot of volunteering opportunities and helping others. What things have you done over the years to help out in your community?
Okay. Well, the quick version of that is this. A lot of the story that I shared before of my childhood and my growing up in church and my faith became a center point of focus for me in my life. And I noticed I had a lot of people there that supported me and loved me and helped grow me within that community. And that meant a lot to me. And so at the time, the guy that I mentioned earlier, a guy by the name of Don Sills, was a leader in our church and a business leader in the community as well. And his sons, Donnie was his younger son, was his oldest son, and then Jerry Sills was the younger son. And they were about college age when I was 9 years old, and they were volunteers in the church doing youth work. And so I was very close to that family, grew up almost like another third child for them. And they became my family and my family of faith. And so fast forward, man, by the time I was 18, I was with WCW and I was traveling and doing wrestling, but I always stayed connected to them and connected to my roots at home. And I get asked a lot while I wrestled to come and share my testimony and my story to different groups and different church groups or civic groups or just community involvement leagues. And I would do that. And the more I shared my story, the more I realized everybody has a story. And that led to me wanting to do just more ministry related activities and not just talk about myself all the time, but get to know other people. And so when I stepped away from wrestling at that main level about a dozen years ago or so, maybe 15 years ago, at the exact same time, the guy that was my youth leader when I was growing up, Donnie Sills, that was in college when I was young, had now decided in middle age that he went to seminary and felt called into ministry. And so when he took his first pastorate here in my hometown, he asked me to come and be a youth leader there in that church. And we began doing ministry together at that time. And not long after, I became a licensed and ordained minister as well. So I've been involved in Southern Baptist ministry for over a dozen years now. And I'm an associate pastor at Anniston First Baptist Church at McClellan here in Anniston, Alabama. And I'm constantly working in ministry and helping other people and mentoring them that way and leading in the church. The guy that was my youth minister growing up is now pastor there. So we're still together after all these years. That family is still close knit. We help out people as much as we possibly can. And we also have, I'm involved with another ministry here in town that started some homes for nonviolent drug offenders that are trying to transition back out to the real world. And that's our Father's Arms ministry here in Jacksonville. And we also have a free clinic that's open every Tuesday morning from about 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., where people can just come in from the community that have no insurance and no money, and they can be seen by a nurse practitioner that's overseen by a doctor, and they can have their medical needs taken care of and their care given to them without having any kind of financial responsibilities and no questions asked.
Wow, it seems like you're doing so much and are really involved with your church. And was there like ever a particular event or series of events that you enjoyed being a part of with your ministry?
Every event is a great event because of the interaction that you have with the people, and that's what it's always all about to me. No matter how you package an event, no matter how you try to promote it or try to sell it, or how many people show up, you never know what those individual moments are going to be like. And so it's very much driven by that. And you have these spiritual moments, and more than anything else, I enjoy connecting with people on that very spiritual level that then makes you sort of a family of faith. I've always said that I learned very early in life, you have your family that you're born into, and then you have your people around you that you choose to make family. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that happen to us in life, that we knit together with all these people. And no matter how you view your spiritual life, whether you're a traditional Christian or whether you're something else, we all have this spiritual element. We have something inside of us that tells us that we're meant for a greater purpose here in this world, right? And I believe everybody inherently feels that in some capacity, no matter what kind of labels you put on it. And so I've really believed in the leaning into that, and I think that my life has been sort of a testament of recognizing that when you have that mentality, a lot of opportunities open up, and then it just becomes a question of what do I want to do with it, and what am I going to do with this this opportunity not only to make my life better, but make the life better for people that's around me.
Yeah, and seems like you've touched the lives of so many people that you've mentored. What has been their reactions and their feedback whenever you talk with them? And it's got to make you feel good whenever you've impacted their life.
It makes me feel wonderful, man, because I look back and I see the giants that were in my life from a spiritual standpoint and what an influence they had on me and how they were game changers for me, man. And to turn around now, and I'm at a weird transition point in my life personally, where a lot of those heroes of my faith as I was growing up are starting to pass away. And while they're passing away, younger people are coming up behind me. They're looking to me more and more for some kind of leadership and some kind of guidance and some kind of advice in the same way I looked at those other people, which is a completely natural evolution. I get it, man, but it's overwhelming and it's humbling. And so I'm constantly now, my days are filled with this combination of being able to go back to the people that meant so much to me and show gratitude and be there for their family and tell them what they've meant to me. And by the way, as an aside note and a little parenthetical here, anybody that's listening to this, don't be so prideful or so stubborn that you don't go back to the people that's helped you out and take that opportunity while you can and before they're gone to say, you made an impact in my life and it meant the world to me. And thank you for that, because that will carry you through with so much power for the rest of your life. And it makes you more tender in your heart and sensitive to want to help the other people that are coming behind you.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find it to show that gratitude and be thankful and humble for the people that have helped you out over the course of your life thus far and being able to pay it forward to others that are going through the same thing.
Absolutely. And it's particularly sensitive to me right now, Stanley. I'm not usually an overly emotional guy, but this time last year, as we were going into Easter, that gentleman that I spoke about, Don Sills, that was the closest thing to a father I ever had, passed away during that week. And I had to do the eulogy for his funeral and had to be there for the family. And I had to pastor them through it, minister them through it. And man, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. But what I always looked to and was always thankful for the opportunity that week in and week out, I would see him as an elder man coming into church on a Sunday morning. And I never missed a chance to hug his neck and said, I want to thank you for everything you did for me and tell you how much I love you.
Yeah, that's always it's always emotional and it gets at your strings whenever there's someone out there that's near and dear to your heart that you lose. And having that opportunity to thank them for everything, it really glad that you're able to do that.
Well, I think that the greatest gift that you can give back to people that have helped you out through life, and we've all had times that are moments in our life where we needed help and we needed someone to help pull us up. And I think the best way to pay that back and show gratitude is not only to tell people that, but to live your life in such a way that you show them that the investment was worth it. You invested in me. I'm going to make sure you get a return on that investment that's high. That ROI is going to be high when it comes to me. And I'm going to push myself to make sure that's the case.
What are some ways that you display gratitude to others?
Giving back in every way that I possibly can. My motivation in my life now is not about, hey, is this a good business decision? And it's not always about, hey, do I have time for this? Do I have time for that? I recognize more and more that there are certain moments in your life where you don't get an opportunity to do that over again, right? And so
Hmm.
I may have plans, for instance, and then somebody else is getting married. And I go, okay, maybe I need to change these plans because this person, this is a big moment in their life and I want to be there for them when they've been there for me. Or I have a football coach that was very instrumental in helping push me through those times in my life when I was in high school where I needed that help having good work ethic and pushing through being homeless and all those issues. And those people were there for me and lifted me up. And he passed away a couple of years ago and had cancer. And I was able to be there by his bedside as he's passing and telling him, hey, you were someone that was so instrumental in my life. There are coaches that teach you the X's and O's of playing whatever sports you're playing. And then there's other people who are man makers. They help instill that character in you that molds you into the person that you become. And he was a man maker for me, you know. And so that I think that's the best gratitude you can ever show anybody.
Yeah, it's always the little things in life that we have to appreciate and never take life for granted because you just never know. And it's always good to pay it forward to the next generation.
And man, it's a gift. Come on. And so I have this weird dichotic way of looking at things in my life where, on the one hand, I don't want to miss any opportunities and I want to work hard and I also want to be persevering through all the difficult times. On the other hand, I don't take all this stuff too seriously because we're not getting out of this life alive anyway, right? So I'm always trying to enjoy every moment as well, and not get bogged down in the small problems that you go, you know what? There's enough problems for every day, but we're going to find a solution to this thing. We're going to move on. Don't let it ruin your life. More than anything else, don't let it steal your joy, and have that joy on a daily basis that I get to have another day today. I get to enjoy a conversation with you, make new friends, go out, be productive. What kind of impact can I have today that not only helps the people around me, it helps me grow as well?
Exactly.